You already know the beginning few words that we say here. Just like that, we back again. Episode 61 of Who's Fighting. LT, Kam Gee, fellas, how have you been?
Gucci.
Gucci.
I've been good wop. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Kam Gee, how you been, man?
Man, feeling good, bro. Feeling good.
You guys have a
Got-
great weekend?
Oof. It was busy, so we can call it good. It was busy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We'll drink to that.
Drink to that.
Cheers,
Got my water bottle. LT, how's your weekend?
Man, can't complain. Indulged in the fights, man. Indulged in the fights. Love it.
Nice,
How-
nice. Well, talking about the weekend, the whole of last week I've been, traveling with family. Was out there in the northeast area, Boston to be precise. So feels good to be back home.
Was that
in
your
my
accent?
my Boston, and it feels good to be back in my natural habitat. I love visiting family. Everything was great. The kids got to, get on a plane for the first time. That's an experience of its own. I know. I know Cosmo did it when you guys went to. When did Cosmo travel with you?
Yeah. That was his first. Got his first plane ride in early. What was that?
Yeah. Try having toddlers that need constant distraction for two plane rides that are 2 hours and some change long. They were, it was a task. Had to be entertaining to make that situation work for them. But
So they was good overall.
they were good. They were
It was
good.
good overall.
A little bit of cabin pressure in for the ears and all that.
Yeah.
The popping and Papa, this is bothering me, but they were good. But besides that, even when I was away, I still kept my pulse to the ground, and I was watching what's happening and developing in the world of mixed martial arts and boxing. So you definitely know I didn't miss any of the fights this weekend. So I was active. Just like that, as we pivot, what should we start with? Should we start with Friday?
Yeah, let's go.
Friday.
From the crib.
Should we go to Quebec? Is it Quebec?
No, we had the crib. Start from the
Let's
crib.
start with the crib, okay? This Friday at the Charles Koch Arena, we had the return of the Bronze Bomber, and this was his first fight after his loss from the Chinese Zhang. Bronze Bomber won by 7th round TKO over Tyrell Hendon. Did I say the name right? Tyrell?
Tyrell Herndon.
Yeah, Tyrell Hendon. Yeah. Fellas, did you guys? I actually went back and watched the whole fight because I didn't watch it live. I could not get the pay-per-view and I could not, I didn't move with my special boxing stick, but I could not find the pay-per-view. But did you guys get to watch? I watched the replay. So
Yeah, underwhelming. It's kind of sad to see. Honestly, we figured he was gonna win, figured it was gonna be a stoppage, but it was just one of those things. Like, man, this guy at one point in his career, we looked at him as just like unbeatable. We knew that his boxing wasn't always there, but we just knew that he had dynamite in his hands, and it took this fight without Malik Scott, but you can't help but wonder that time with him, as he got away from Mark Breland and all that from the first Tyson Fury fight. It's just been a weird, last few years of just watching him, and that's the best way I can describe it. It just felt weird watching him fight at this point.
did you see any improvements?
No. LT, like, you saw what I saw? I don't know.
Yeah, much of the same. As I'm watching the fight, I'm thinking, okay, he's getting the rounds in, he's getting the ring rust off. And then what was it? Was it the 6th round? I think it was when he started visibly like trying to knock out his opponent, and I'm like, okay, he's trying to knock him out right now,
Right.
and it's not connecting. Like, and that's the opponent was there to be knocked out. He was gassed, and really several times, the opponent hit the canvas. Well, I think that was in anticipation of one of those punches landing. Like, let me just go ahead and go down. Yeah. The referee jumped in and saved it before any actual damage was done. So
he was like, all right, I'm ready to leave. It's time to go. So, that's one of those type of stoppages.
But that that night to me was more about the locals. They pulled Jeff Page out of retirement. They got our guy from Topeka. He had a resounding win. If you were there, it would have been entertaining because it was a lot of knockouts. Like Nico Hernandez had a knockout. Like, so if you were in the building, you probably would have been entertained by the carnage. But it was for what it was. The promotional team did a great job around the city as far as creating an environment. I think, as far as after parties and things of that nature. So it was definitely a night that I would have liked to been able to attend. Just having all that energy there. But no big names, like no huge performance. Shout out to Zab Judah was in attendance.
Zab Judah, yep.
Wow.
I think he's heavily invested in BLK Prom.
Okay.
Buster Douglas was in attendance. Fun fact: Buster Douglas played basketball for a season at Coffeyville Community College.
Wow. Who hasn't stopped through Coffeyville, Kansas? By the way, but anyway.
So, yeah, man. A lot of people in the building, and a lot of culture in the city. So, like I said, they had Willis McGay. He had an after party. Some comedians were there. Like it was a good weekend. But as a whole, Deontay Wilder, it was hey.
It was a thing that happened. Shout out to the local smaller town fights. Kind of bring the community together. A local fight night is something to see. If you only visit the high profile fights, I think you're selling yourself short by not visiting some of these local events, especially when like LT was saying, Deontay Wilder coming to Wichita, Kansas, and you get some guys locally that have names, and they coming out of retirement and knocking folks out. Those fight nights are it's a time. It's a good time.
Yeah, and just ears to the streets. I have some people here that were hearing good reviews about the hospitality and how everything was A1. The hosting was great. The people from Deontay Wilder's camp were like really impressed with the city of Wichita, and I don't know if more fights are going to be brought here. It's kind of tricky because with big fights comes lodging and all that stuff. With restaurants, hey, Wichita, we got you. Eating, you won't. Don't worry, you'll find enough to eat. It's that lodging and the airport thing, having people fly in, fly out, and and then also connecting to bigger cities. So from what I've heard, there may be some more fights coming out here. I'm hearing more fights. Fights are happening in San Antonio. Fights are going to be happening in Oklahoma. So and also Cincinnati also showed up one time for a big fight. Virginia, Norfolk. So even the B level cities, fights will happen, and I wish Wichita is part of those B. Would Wichita be a B level or C level market? What would you consider Wichita?
Well, I mean, here's the thing with that too. This wasn't a major promotional company. Right. Shout out to them and what they did, but it wasn't a major promotional company. I think a major promotional company will have much more success. I know the numbers. It was about 7,000 people in attendance. You know, you wish it would be more for a venue that holds about, I think,
20.
not that much. It was at Coke Arena, so it's not
Coca-Cola.
quite.
Yeah,
It's not quite
and
that. But Wichita does have things like there's a private airport right there on the east side, right there on Webb Road. They have 4-star hotel in the Ambassador.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not hard to set up if you it can be done. So
Yeah, because I'm a big fight. Like if God, hope this happens. Like you have a star power like of Javante Davis. You at least expect 100,000 people coming as onlookers, at least. I think because I don't think it's just inside the venue, but outside. I'm because I don't want to say this on camera, but you know, there are people that travel with groups. There's a whole situation that travels with. If you hear about the All-Star, there are people that are not there for boxing; they're there for other things. So like it's a big group that travels with that type of. I wouldn't even call it pandemonium. That type of, how do you call it? Event, extravaganza, whatever they call it. So I don't know. I may be exaggerating. 100,000 may be crazy, but like 50, because I know the World Cup itself, like Kansas City, how much they're predicting for, you know, because Kansas City is one of the hosting places. They're like building hotel. They make infrastructure for. I think it's next year when we're hosting the World Cup. So they expect like, you know, airport is going to be busy, Uber is going to be busy. Hotels are being built by the day to just accommodate close to almost 500,000 people showing up in your city just because Messi is in town. You know, just tourists coming out of nowhere. So yeah, you're right. We have the Ambassador. We have a lot of hotels, but for like a A-level fighter who brings people to the city, it'll be interesting to see how a B-side city can hold up.
it has to be a certain type of product that caters to a certain demographic.
Right.
Okay? And you know,
And
listen, I'll put it like this. I ain't giving no free game on that one. Okay. You got a podcast. I would have loved to have been a part of this. So next time they come through, holla at us. I liked every single post.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I know you seen it. All right.
Right.
I took our page. I liked every single post. All right. Shout out to Jack Stacks.
Yeah. Shout out
to DJ for the win. They held it down. I would have made a trip home.
Yeah. Also, like if for those guys looking into this, they need to study Cleveland. Cleveland, I would say, is about the same size. I mean, I may be wrong. Cleveland may be a way bigger city. But how did they handle having star power like LeBron James? Because I know when he left, a lot of businesses closed because they cannot maintain. A lot of hospitality type of businesses, amenities closed and when LeBron left for Miami. But that's a city to study because LeBron does bring a lot of out-of-towners. So those type of markets with a superstar. I mean, of course, LeBron is a staple, not just one-day boxing event. But hey, going back to the breakdown of the fight, for real, I did see levels of improvement outside the normal Deontay Wilder. He wasn't telegraphing as much. And when I say that, he wasn't exposing his right hand and showing you like it's coming all the way to you. He did do great jab work from like round 3 to 5. Round 6, he kind of got excited when dude dropped, so he kind of like went back to wild, like clubbing him in the back of the head, like some weird punches that you don't expect boxers to throw. Same thing as round 2. Round 2 was very chaotic. He did knock him down in round 2. So like whenever he sees blood, he goes crazy. He kind of like, you could see a person who learned boxing, and you could see him doing a textbook jab. And when he sees kind of like this dude is hurt, he goes crazy. And I'm like, Wilder, sit on them punches, do something that. But I guess it works for him. So I really can't really knock him too much because he became a world champion doing that, and he has attained his 41 knockouts, 41st. I mean knockouts, 42. That was his 42nd knockout, and I guess it works. If it's broke, don't fix it. It's taken to highest of highs. Right now, with a fighter at he's 39, right? 39, 40 years old. Um, I don't see too much that is next for him besides that one big money fight with Anthony Joshua to finish that legacy of fighters, because these guys are passing the baton to the Etamus, the younger fighters who are coming in, who are hungrier. Who I don't want Deontay Wilder fighting Moses. It's a young lion like that because it'll be bad. It'll be pretty bad. I don't want to see Deontay Wilder fighting a Lawrence Ecoli. I want to see, there's some guys who are coming up who are hungry. And also Joshua, he's been, clobbered up and beaten up by a few people. So I want to see Joshua and him get one more win here and there and make a mega fight. And let's ride the horse to the sunset and call it a great career. But salute to the Bronze Bomber.
I think I just remembered something. Me and Cam were throwing around this word accountability. That's probably why we didn't get no phone call.
Look, man, you can say too much.
And even just going back, as you guys talk about, we did not put our predictions on that Deontay Wilder fight, which is fair. I can see why we didn't put our predictions. But let's hop over. Let's hop over to MVP, Most Valuable Promotions. Saturday. Was this on Netflix, I believe, right?
Actually, it was on the Zone.
The Zone, yeah.
We had Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And I'm telling you, I'll say this. Julio Chavez Sr. has been running a scam for a long time with his son. That's a legend.
Yo,
you have a guy ride your legacy to the dirt, and you still attend his fights. I saw him sitting there watching. If that was my son, I'm watching it at home. How are you losing to a Disney Channel celebrity boxer?
Man.
And your name is Junior. It's like Bronny deciding to play one-on-one with Speed. I show Speed or Kai Cenat, and Kai Cenat dunks on him. And I'm LeBron James watching it on the sideline. I'm the greatest Mexican boxer of all time. Canelo is right now looking at it like, this is the guy who I'm supposed. Is this your king? Canelo is like, is this your king? Mexico, and I love my Mexican. Viva la Mexico. Is this your king? Julio Chavez Sr. You've been running a scam on us for a long time. That scam even won a WBC belt. Junior, we should have seen the truth when Spider beat you in boxing. A striking, especially a striking grappler, beat you in your own sport. It's a shame. But anyway, I pass the mic.
I'm gonna jump in here. So what do we make of these slow starts for Jake Paul opponents? Is Jake Paul that much of a puzzle?
I think they realize that he does have legitimate power. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a grown man. It's 200 pounds. Who knows what he's coming in the night of the fight. So you have to navigate that. If you haven't been training properly or the mentality is not there, it's not going to happen. That's one thing that I can think of. He has a legit strong right hand. It will bring some hesitation that you have to figure out, but there's ways to navigate someone that has a good punch. So
I mean, all right. So you judge his technique then. I mean,
I look at Jake Paul as any other fighter that has had 13 professional fights, right? So is the thing with Jake Paul is he has been on a huge stage from the jump of his career. Most guys, we don't really hear about them, unless they're on a major promotion until about that 15, 16, 17 fight when those guys are really starting to make some noise, or they just had that promotional support. We really don't see it for guys that large at that early of the stage. So he's someone that can still improve if he decides to stay in the gym and work on his fundamentals. But that's how you gotta look at him. 13 fights in, 7 knockouts. He's not fought the top competition, but so having a lot of guys that have 13 fights. They're fighting guys in, Wichita, Kansas, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Little Rock, Arkansas. They're having these events in venues that hold 500 people, 1,000 people. So that level of competition reflects that. One thing with him, the moment isn't too big for him. So if he can, keep working at his skill, he's ranked. He's now currently ranked. I know we'll get to that. You got a puncher's chance. As crazy as that sound, you have a puncher's chance. So he's elevated himself to that point. So we'll see as it continues. But I think we all had this going to a unanimous decision. Is that right?
I had Jake Paul. I had Jake Paul by 6-round knockout.
Oh, I will get him out of there.
And that,
everybody got points this weekend besides me. All my stuff was off. All of them. You guys, Kam Gee, you got full points on this one. LT got 5 points. So Cam got the full 10.
Okay.
And yeah, my disrespect for Junior.
Yeah, man. Like, what's up with that, bro? Like, you've had all these fights. You're the son of a legend. Like, come on, man. Show up ready to fight.
He did try to put it on Jake Paul later on, and I was like, okay. That's something I saw with Floyd Mayweather when he was fighting Conor McGregor. Floyd is very smart. Like, he's a businessman. He's not gonna beat you and end it just like that. Floyd is gonna put on a show, and then you saw what he did to McGregor in the later rounds. I don't think Chávez Jr. I don't think Chávez Jr. was doing the Floyd. I really do believe what LT was saying. Like, that first few rounds were for just downloading, and when you figure out this dude is really the truth, like he's strong. One thing I'll have to say, I've been putting it on Chávez. Let me give flowers to Jake Paul. I see improvement every time he fights. I see something that he has added on. What I saw this time was his level of getting hit, accepting that he gets hit, and then returning. I've never seen him get hit before. And we talked about it in the last episode. We wanted to see him cut the ring off because we thought Chávez was going to be on his bike, which was not really like that. It wasn't a fight like that. Chávez did kind of, I don't know. He wasn't running, but I really did see Jake Paul get hit. I always thought that there are many fights where we don't see him get hit, like really good hit. Like Chávez got him later on, and he adjusted and did some things that I was like, oh, this dude is learning in real time, and he's becoming good. And I go hard on dude, but and this is Jake Paul, but I have to put in account this dude has no amateur background. He has no amateur background, so
yeah. And that's a good.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're making right. So that's a good point out. This was like a 10 round fight, correct?
Mm-hmm.
No belts on the line.
10-round fight.
So yeah, he did. I noticeably, either 8th, noticeably Jake's hands got real heavy, and I think that's why it clicked in Junior's head to just start letting his hands go. I don't know if that's what y'all saw.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and me, just like a lot of people watching, like, where was this the whole fight? Like, and I'm like,
right.
8 rounds, I'm questioning, is this legit? Like, is this a sham? And then I'm like, oh, okay, he came alive. Oh, okay, he touched him a little bit. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, maybe this is
That's what's so frustrating about Cesar Chavez. You know, son of a legend. You know, we got some. Anyway, son of a legend. You would think that you have the IQ to think, hey, this guy does not have an amateur background. This will be his 13th fight ever. What if I step on the gas and impress him?
Mm-hmm.
Make him see what his gas tank is like, and I think that's one thing that will hurt him as he moves up in competition, because they can take advantage of that. We've seen that in other fights where he gets a little fatigued, the hands get really low. At that cruiserweight division, man, that's dangerous.
facts.
That's
And then,
very dangerous.
but it's something to say though. Shout out to everybody watching live. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. It's something to say though. Like, we know he doesn't have an amateur background, like you pointed out. We know this is early in his career, but for anybody, like, even though I give Chavez flack, that's still a good fight for number 14. Like,
Mm-hmm. That's his 14th. Yeah.
so I mean, what is that? And so in the conundrum I have also is, you mean to tell me you've elevated so much to where you went from losing to Tommy Fury to beating Chavez Jr. Like,
It don't make sense, right?
Right.
It don't make sense.
And you know, like with Jake Paul, like why I really now I've got respect. It's not a joke anymore. Is, bro, we see small, little, subtle changes every time he fought, and now like we have a full scope of fights. He has 14 fights, right? 13 fights. I remember him fighting Nate Robinson, and he was punching, looking down with the overhand loop, not just hoping he could find a target. Not even working a jab, to him improving, knocking out Ben Askren, the wrestler who didn't respect, just beating random UFC guys, to him fighting the Fury brother, to him fighting other boxers, knocking out another amateur boxer, and talking to people that I've trained with him. I had a friend of mine, he's a Ugandan guy who goes and gets work out there in Miami. Apparently, his name is Simon Sekaja, and he's worked with that team before. He's done work with that team, working with Jake Paul's boxers. H2O at that time was with part of MVP. I don't think he's with MVP anymore. And he said, bro, the dude is really living the life of a boxer, doing every workout, not skipping, even though he's late, like in the game. He's around lions. He's around people that really fight. So when you're around that, maybe it's a fast track to being a professional. But again, you still need that ring time. And that's why the amateurs is a cheat code to any fighters. When you see Lomachenko has 400 amateur fights, that's ring time. That's many situations that you've been in. You're comfortable. You're never panicking, like, stuff could change. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that. But what he has a team around him. And, Coach Larry Wade, who's on his side, he has coached multiple champions. And when you hear Larry Wade talk about Jake Paul, he's not taking him like a joke. And we've seen the people that Coach Wade as Coach Wade.
And we shouldn't be taking him as a joke. I think a lot of people have their opinions about Jake Paul. I think that is a big misstep where a man that goes into the ring, period. A grown man went to another ring and had hand-to-hand combat. We understand the world that we live in and why it became what it became, but we cannot take this as a joke at this point. Like I said, we may not like it, but there at some level we have to understand that it takes a lot of courage to step in that ring. And like you said, he has proper coaching around him, and despite his lack of amateur background, what he does have is money and access that can buy him sparring time with people that have more experience than him. I would anticipate that he would utilize that as he takes a step up in competition. So
Sure.
Yeah.
you just gotta give it its proper space.
Also,
Facts.
apparently, he wants his dream fight is Anthony Joshua. I can't see that. I mean, they're just different body types, right? Let's do the 6,
You
7.
are you going off his post fight comments?
Yeah. Well, he said he wants Anthony Joshua, and I'm
That's
like,
adrenaline strap. That is adrenaline.
Yo,
I don't think you meet that. I don't think you could.
Shout out to
I don't think. I don't think the physics works on that one.
shout out to Coach Wade. I just seen the interview on Porter Way, so he's got a book out. I might need to cop that. So Strap or Cam, you seen the book?
no. Let me look it up real quick on
Like with that, he should stick with the cruiserweight.
Segue.
Yeah,
he's not going to heavyweight, brother.
he's not going. He should not.
He's not.
Yeah. Oh, he called out Anthony Joshua. And he doesn't mind fighting Deontay Wilder. So I don't know.
All right. There it is. So as of today, Jake Paul it's announced that Jake Paul was ranked number 14 by the WBA in the cruiserweight rankings. All right. They did have a post-fight face-off with Zurdo.
Gilbert Ramirez. So Zurdo, first of all, like I said last episode, I've not watched too much cruiserweight fighting. I've watched Bardu Jack. Zurdo, I don't know. He's not in my radar. But after what I saw him do, I don't think Jake Paul wants that. I don't think he really wants to fight that guy. If Zurdo is really trying to, that's a real boxer, bro. That's a real boxer, like that's a guy in his prime for real, for real.
So here we are again. Cam, do you know where I'm going with this?
I'm listening.
I think I know where you're going with this.
You know, here we go again, where this is an opponent where David Benavidez has called out and is eyeing. And yet again, they are sidestepping.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
That's all I got.
It's funny because it's like, man, is Benavidez really gonna get iced out of like the prime of his career? Like he's really getting iced out. He's gonna have to fight Opataya at some point.
That's the thing. I was saying Opataya or beat up an old man Bardu Jack.
And we'll see if he decides to take that fight. There's been some clamoring. Ryan Riziki is the mandatory who was supposed to face him on the last card, but I guess we'll see.
Wait, I see a play.
And another thing,
I see the play, but go ahead. I see a play.
And another thing, like the old man. There's the old man WBC. I'm calling him the old man now.
Yeah, for real.
Cruiserweight strap. Go ahead and say his name.
Bardu
Jack. So it seems like the clear play was Bardu Jack versus Jake Paul because he popped this whole thing off with Triller. That seems appropriate, right? And so there should be a window for Zurdo, but now you propped up Zurdo on your undercard, introduce him into your casual fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So is the play now? Either the play is to set up a fight, or maybe the play is to bring him on with MVP.
I see that.
They're definitely in the talent acquiring business.
Because MVP is going to be here longer than Jake Paul. I might as well get the premier fighters to at least lay the bricks on this one. And I'm not fighting. If I'm Jake Paul, I'm not fighting Zurdo. Did you see what he did to bro? Like, I'm not fighting him. I'll fight Bardu Jack. He's old. He has age.
But also, Bardu Jack can headbutt a brick wall and keep coming. So
yeah,
we've seen it.
And he's old. Jake Paul is like at least it'll certify Jake Paul fighting a belt holder.
It will be Strap. No, yes, but it will also be consistent. Because what is the median age of Jake Paul opponents?
What is it? Like 45?
40, 45.
You see what I'm getting at here?
Chávez like 30, 40, 40. Like everybody old.
Yeah, Chávez 39.
39.
Yeah, so
yeah, I see the play. I mean, but the thing is this, like with Jake Paul, have you noticed ever since he started fighting closer to the cruiser heavy, he's not been having knockouts. It's like his right hand is not a factor anymore. The more he gets into his natural size. But when he was fighting at like 65, when he was fighting like smaller, that right hand looked like it was taking out people. Is that something I'm seeing, or is just maybe that's boxing? Sometimes you get the knockouts, sometimes you don't. But as he gets to that bigger, these guys could take his power or so-called power. He may not even have power like that. He may be doing the big body fight, get small and beat on the little guy because he's already 6'1". He's a big dude. Yeah, so like maybe that's it. And and that's the stick they used to beat Benavidez with. They were like, beat Benavidez, you're 6'4", 6 whatever. You would go down here and then you would knock out all these dudes. But why don't you get to cruiserweight? But he's knocking out even the big dudes. So that's not a Benavidez stick you can hit him with. But maybe that's the stick that we can hit Jake Paul with. Like now that you're fighting guys closer to your walking weight, where's that power? When was the last time we talked about a Jake? He didn't even knock out an old Tyson, who they fought a heavyweight.
Man, that was mercy.
Was that mercy? Because he caught him flash a few times, and Tyson also grazed him. He did knock out Tommy Fury. They fought. Didn't they fight 2 times? Or one time he lost. He lost to Tommy Fury. He did not. So it's been a while since he's taken. He's been having these decisions. So maybe I'm just starting something out here. Maybe I'm starting my own strap. There should be a segment called Strap Agendas. Maybe
last knockout was against Ryan Borland, March of 24.
March of 24. Okay, then that's a strap agenda. I have agendas you got to put out there in the world, just hoping they catch. But maybe I'm wrong. But hey, be on the lookout. Let's see how he looks like at cruiserweight. As we talk about Jake Paul, I'll be wrong not giving him his flowers for MVP. Yes, we started off with, with the whole fight with him and Chávez Jr., but let's talk about Jake Paul, the CEO, Jake Paul, the visionary, Jake Paul, the businessman. That is true career pivot that is amazing. I think he's setting up a business model that people need to study, setting up a business model that boxers are going to win. Or even if he pivots to fighting altogether and he starts an agency, I like that approach because he is a leader who does service. He's fighting. He's in the trenches with his fighters. He's just not the guy wearing the suit and tie who's retired, a legend, just, taking advantage of young fighters, putting them in bad situations, cutting them bad deals. What he's doing for female boxing in particular is something we need to give him his flowers right now for. And he, besides his fight with Chávez Jr., that card was hot. That was a well put together card. Fellows, I want you guys to share your opinions on how you thought he organized that. Maybe him in the future could do something with ring, because Turkey may need some, Dana White is fire, but I think Jake Paul may have something to say about putting together fights.
I think there's a visual line in the sand right now between, well, specifically Turkey and Jake. So I think there's that. Yeah. I'm not saying that.
And yes, they have a back and forth, the whole Canelo thing. But with business, hey, it's not personal. We've seen it with De La Hoya working with Turkey, with Kid Austin. Remember, De La Hoya was beating Turkey with a stick, saying, "What's this guy doing? Why are they fighting in Saudi Arabia?" Remember that whole stuff? Well, guess what? Kid Austin is fighting on a Ring magazine thing, and he's a Golden Boy fighter. Hey, with business, it's never personal. It's all about the money. And if somebody's doing it good, I'll be remiss if I was Turkey and I didn't see this young boy who's brilliant. His model. And Turkey, I know you come from that part of the world, but we need women on your fixtures. We need more. Anyway, I'll go into a whole thing about this. But fellas, what do you think about MVP and how that guy is modeling his whole get down and program?
Yeah, I love it. I love this card though. I just put like that. The card was dynamite. It's hard because I've seen so many podcasts already. But yeah, outside of the main event, I was satisfied with everything else leading up to that. So, and I think that's the way he has to do it. He's using himself as the main attraction, and people are being introduced to boxing by osmosis. So.
I definitely agree. You're like unofficially like an ambassador because people are tuning in to boxing because of Jake Paul. But what was really cool was watching Holly Holm have her return to the ring after a 12-year layoff, and looked surprisingly sharp. Looked very comfortable in the ring. I mean, 12 years, 34, 35 professional fights. I mean, it came back, and she spoke about eventually challenging some of the women today that have belts. What Jake Paul has done with women's boxing, elevating it to new heights, and then coming again here on July 11th, man, it's huge. That's huge, and you really have to give him his flowers for having that foresight to put these women on. These are major cards, selling out venues, and the card was amazing. Tevin Farmer, Schofield, the Griffin, what was his last name? One of his fighters took a very tough fight. I'm missing now to pull the card back up, but that was an exciting fight. Avius Griffin. There you go, Avius Griffin. And who is his opponent, man? I gotta find it. It was worthy of a shout out. I would say that. Lost to Pedraza at one point, came back. Julian Rodriguez. There you go. I mean, this was a very good card. You also had Joshua Edwards, who we want to keep an eye on, from Houston, Texas. He was on the Olympic team. He's a heavyweight right now, so he scored a one-punch knockout. So he's 3-0 right now. Just Joshua Edwards out of Ace Time. So putting people on, man. Gotta show love.
We're gonna run through these. Let's hit these. Let's hit
these
absolutely.
two. So let's run through that card. So we talked about Zordo already. Current WBA. Is it current WBA or WBA or WBO? Want to guys remind me who? What
we had just talked about.
Anyway, he is the WBA. He's both WBA and WBO. Never mind. Both of them.
Yeah, Opatai's got IBF.
Yeah, he's both. Yeah. So I was like thinking he was one, but he's both. He holds both. He had a fight with. How do you? I don't want to say Doritos.
Unil Dorticos.
Yeah. I saw this fight. Unil was very dangerous too. Very, very dangerous. But what I saw with Ramirez, this being my first time seeing him fight, was a very foxy, tricky cruiserweight that does so many good things. I didn't know of him, but I see a very talented fighter with high level of technique. That I cannot see Jake Paul dancing with dude like this. Zurdo is the real deal. Just off that showcase, but Unil was very dangerous. Looked like the stronger fighter. Guys, did you see that? He looked kind of strong. He looked strong, and but with that being said, the 12, the unanimous decision, I agree with. And I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch a lot more for Gilberto Ramirez.
I mean, he clearly was the better fighter, deserved to win. I just saw someone that got hit cleanly often and looked a little bit slow of foot. And stylistically, I feel like I can see Opetaya just getting off at will, just because of and physically didn't look to me that someone that would match up against another top or another belt holder in the division. That was one thing that concerned me. Just getting hit cleanly often at that weight class is something that was just something that we should watch. As if he gets that opportunity over Opetaya or any other top cruiserweights.
So, how do you think he fares in the WBC unification bout with the old man?
That's a better matchup. Badu does have some skill and some ability to move even at his age, and I think that could present a problem. That'll be a much better matchup than Opetaya, though. I watching the fight, that was the matchup that really was coming to mind because of rumblings that we heard before. But yeah, that might be a better route for him. So, so we'll see how that goes.
Kam Gee, it looks like you have a fan out there in the streets.
What up? What up, though?
All right, let's talk about the one that kind of had knockout of the night, I guess. Oh,
I think we got this wrong. Did we predict this one?
We all predicted. We all got it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a statement. He proved.
The world got it wrong. I don't think anybody saw this coming.
He proved to pack way more punch than I thought. I knew he had strength. I knew he had power.
Athletic.
I didn't know it was like that. And I want to say, I was laughing and joking because his dad led the charge in a lot of the pressers leading up to this. But I think his dad manifested this and told Tevin that he was going to punch him in the chin. And that's exactly what happened. So,
yeah, he like clean, explosive, short shot. And that type of power is going to present problems for anybody. That looks like a newly developed strength he's found. If we're going back to the fight where he took the knockdown, I can't think of the fighter's name. Different energy, different base, different. It was a different feel. Fight happened so quick that it was just shocking. The card was moving along fast. Holly Holm gets off, and then there's a intermission. Then they get in the ring, and the fight's over. 3 knockdowns, and that's all they wrote. I mean, who as far as Schofield, Kid Austin get another fight, guys are gonna, take a little hesitation when that contract is sent over. And to take note, he is the number 1 contender for Tank's belt. So, as Floyd Schofield Sr. was saying, send the contract.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I've not yet developed something about Floyd Senior, man. Like I can't stand. Respect his manifest. I respect all fighters' dads and how they are how they move about to protect their son, but let the boy talk for himself. He kind of reminds me of Sean Porter's dad, but Sean Porter's dad kind of wasn't too overbearing. And the whole, I hypnotized my son, and when he's in the ring, I don't know about all that, but respect the kid Austin. I didn't know he had that in him. I do see things with the beginning of that fight where Tevin Farmer looked, I don't know. There's something that was off. I've never seen Tevin Farmer I've never seen him knocked down like that or knocked out. Is this the first time he's been finished, right? The first time he's been knocked out ever.
We can confirm that. Yeah, he's had
because
he lost 4 of his first 12 fights.
But it's always decision. He's taking tough people to distance. He's taking tough people to distance, and he's not been knocked out before. So, from what I remember, and this guy doing it in the first round is something that is wow. It's And after that, I started thinking about the whole Tourette's thing, and I'm like, oh crap. Hope he's okay. Hope Tevin is okay, and. But hey, you did put something in the chat, Cam. Don't move away from that topic that you brought in the chat about Tevin Farmer's career. I like how you broke it down because I never thought about that, about his record and how levels of careers. You talked about levels of careers and how you wouldn't mind to have fighters that you train that move the Tevin Farmer's way of the career passes.
Oh yeah, man. He had to get it out the mud, man.
Right.
He had to adjust his style. Lost 4 of his first 12 fights.
Mm-hmm.
He's been stopped 3 times. So one of those stops was in his pro debut against Oscar Santana. Oscar Santana went on to have 9 or 10 pro fights. All right, so that was who he lost to in his first fight by TKO. He had a draw in his first few fights, and then went on a 19 fight win streak. No major promotion. Got into boxing late. Got multiple title shots. First title shot, he fights a guy out of I think Japan, and it's a no contest because his opponent tested for a steroid.
Mm-hmm.
Tested positive. Let me see. What would they? Doesn't matter what he tested for. It was a steroid, right?
Right.
And then gets another opportunity to win the belt.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying in our chat, I would tell fighters, hey, look at a guy like Tevin Farmer and watch his career. Lost his pro debut, no major promotion. Really had to dig into his style and his skills, and he had to grind to the point where he was able to get title shots, have big paydays late in his career, and he's taking his money that he's earned from boxing. Now he's flipping real estate in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Jersey, in that area out there. So I'm saying guys like to look up to Floyd because they see the $100 million earnings for the year, but what about a guy like Tevin Farmer, who truly had to get it out the mud and had a TKO in his first loss, first pro fight, and went on to have 40. What was that? How many fights did he have total? Damn near 40 fights.
Oh, sorry, 33 wins on my bad.
33 wins. Over 40 fights.
42 looks
42,
like
42 fights. That's unheard of, and I think it's I really respect guys like that because I want to see the guys that I train understand that there are different levels of careers you can have. There is a Floyd, right? Then you have guys like Tevin Farmer. Then you have guys like Paulie Malignaggi. These guys ascend to these great heights, but they wasn't necessarily knocking everybody out. They had to go grind. They had to go get it, and they had to really use their skills to make a career, to change their life. So
yeah, and you know, like you talk about those type of fighters, right? And also there are fighters like this that we kind of don't put on that same. I mean, we respect them because they gave us great fights, right? But if you look at their whole career, these guys are going to be Hall of Famers. Like, I'll give you an example. Yeah, like good one, great one. There you go. They were reading my mind. Tim Bradley. Yes, he's doing commentary right now. Yes, he does rattle people with his commentary. But if you look at Tim Bradley's career, he's a 2 division champ. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Sean Porter, believe it or not, is a 3 division world champion. And then the name that makes us all laugh, Rolly Romero, the guy who started boxing as a high schooler, is a 3 division world champion. Who else can I add in there? Mr. The Can Man himself, 3 division world champion, and that already qualifies you to the Hall of Fame. So yes, the Can Man was high of high. He was never Tevin Farmer. He did peak. He peaked. I don't think Tevin ever peaked, but the Can Man peaked and dropped really bad. But I think I like, rather than peaking, like you said, we talk about fighters peaking, like reaching the most that they can reach. I rather a Sean Porter's career where he's never peaking, but you're getting all the big fights.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting all the big fights. You're getting all the big paydays. Like you're getting the Crawford fight. You're getting the Spence fight. You're getting who else did he fought? You're getting the Amir Khan fight. You're getting the Keith Thurman fight. You're getting he fought you're getting the Danny Garcia fight. You're getting the guy from the UK, Kell Brook fight. Like, this guy is fighting all these champions. That's a great, to me. I know I finished my career. I've not ducked anyone. Secondly, even if they call me, like, did we kind of call him a gatekeeper one time?
Who?
Did we call
that?
Or were we tripping back in 2021? Because he was fighting all the champions. I
don't know. He was
active.
If you're fighting champions, you're a contender still.
Yeah, okay. So he's a contender.
If we did that, we was probably tripping.
Like, maybe it was another fighter that we kind of pulled to that. Maybe we called Chisora. I don't know. We called somebody who was active.
Well, we be trying to
the whole topic.
We be trying to put a gatekeeper on people and putting the legend title.
Legend.
You know?
Yeah, like Sean Porter. Like I rather take a Sean Porter than Adrian Broner, who peaked. Like, this dude was box office. Porter was never box office, but how many great fighters did Sean Porter? He fought a lot. So I don't know. Which career would you take? Porter, AB? They're about the same age. They both from Ohio. I think Porter's from Ohio too, because they were trained together.
You got to look at who leveraged their opportunities for future income. You know,
who made more money? I think maybe AB made more money fights than him.
I don't know. I don't think we can,
because I don't think Porter has ever been an A side to any of his fights. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. To any of the big fights, AB definitely was an A side to the Malinaji.
So Sean Porter quietly was a sparring partner. Do you know who is a sparring partner for Strap?
Kid Austin? Who?
No. In the heyday. Manny Pacquiao,
yeah.
So there's some checks that come along with that, you know. So quietly over the course of his career, Sean Porter stretching it out, you know what I'm saying, and still stretching it out. So I mean, if you listen, do I have to do we have to say this? Who AB had his last fight with?
No. Like a casino somewhere, man, with promoted by Only in America.
In the year 2020, what? 2020. If the year starts with a 2.
No,
that
crazy.
that career needs to be studied. Like, how did you fall from grace? That like it was one of those like, yeah. But
What?
yeah, that's a good conversation to have, man. It's a good topic right there. As we continue our we're an hour into it.
The Jake
let's
Paul
talk-
extravaganza.
Yeah, we're still stuck with MVP. Oh my bad.
Hijack.
Boy, is this the first time you've seen? How many female fighters have you seen on one card? Like
This is the first time.
just like this.
Gabe Rosado caught a stray in the chat. This is the first all women's card on a major platform like this. This is unprecedented things we'll be witnessing on July 11th.
And we didn't put the Roman numeral, but this is the trilogy fight for Taylor Serrano.
That's fireworks. If you have Savannah Marshall, you have Baumgardner, you have Katie Taylor, you have Metcalf, you have Cameron, you have let me see. Like, this is moving too fast. Yo, that is crazy. This is a crazy lineup.
It's insane, right? Savannah Marshall on that thing.
So this is in New York. Like what kind of, I wonder what kind of sponsorship, what kind of co-branding. There's so many things that you can do with this. And as of right now, I mean, MVP don't even need my help. I don't even have to.
I'm gonna watch this one. Definitely. I'm locked in. Cause you know, I really like all these fighters. I really like legitly. I'd like to see Savannah Marshall fight again. I mean, we know like Katie Taylor and Serrano. This is the third time they fight now.
Yep, number 3.
The first
and Serrano won the last one, or it was a headbutt.
The first two were classics. The first two were classics, and it's very hard to have two fights and they're both classics. One has
what a unanimous decision though. It's weird that we consider it such a notable fight. With what is it, a UD, the last fight?
Yeah, they kind of robbed Serrano on that one.
Yeah.
Serrano. Yeah,
activity versus accuracy.
But on that fight, we talked about it when Tyson fought Jake Paul. We all said Amanda Serrano and Kate Taylor were the winner. Like, everybody talked about the girls. Nobody talked about the dudes. Yeah, everybody talked about the girls. Nobody talked about the dude fights that day. Everything was about the girls and Netflix just crashing. Because I didn't care about that Tyson. Like, that's why I think this is going to be a very big. I just want to see those numbers so we can shut this whole thing that women cannot sell fights. And in the future, I do want to see the greatest woman fighter of all time, Clarissa Shields, come and collaborate with these fighters or collaborate with MVP. Let's take the ego away. You know, I want to see that. I want to see I want to see Gabriela Pandora. Come on. If you put her in the mix, get all the great fighters. Let's all do it. Let's do it. And let's put it in Vegas somewhere. Oh, I don't know which is the hot spot right now. Vegas? Is it still Vegas? I don't know. I want to see it. Baumgardner versus, yeah, there you go. Clarissa versus Shields versus Baumgardner. That would be good. I don't know, but that looks like Baumgardner looks little though.
Yeah, that's one of the things that just would never happen because
Baumgardner looks little.
I mean, we saw Clarissa at the weigh-ins, and Baumgardner is going to be fighting at 126, I believe, for this next fight. So
let's do Marshall Shields too. I like the first one. Marshall gave a good account for herself with the GOAT. Why not? Let's do it. They did it in England. Let's do it home. Let's do it home and away. Let's do it in the States. Actually, let's do it in Detroit. Little Caesars.
At this point, MVP does not necessarily need Clarissa Shields, I'm sure they would, if the opportunity presented itself and it made sense business wise. I think they, of course, would love to work with her, but I think she's positioned herself outside of that realm.
Is Clarissa an independent contractor? Is she with somebody?
Clarissa is more interested in fighting Jake than any of the females on the roster.
So it's like you're honestly wasting your time having that type of discussion. It's like, hey, let's talk about some things that actually could happen.
Yeah.
And I think public, in boxing, the public matters. And I think when you rub the fans the wrong way, I don't remember the most recent one. There was a tweet that, was it the ESPYs? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It's like we can live. We don't need that, and that it really, people that really support her. It's like, man, we don't need that. We don't need that. Like, let us do these little social media battles for you.
Women's sportsman of the year or something like that.
Yeah, man. It's like, show grace, and that's what champions do. The champions of the past, they were ambassadors of the people. You had those champions that are, crazy, the one-offs, but being a champion isn't just getting there and fighting. It's being a champion of the people at the same time. So I think that there's a little miss with her there, but MVP, let's just stay on topic with them. They are elevating the game, and that is all you can hope for if you really love this sport.
Yeah, this will be on a Friday night, June 11th, on Netflix. I will be at home, ready for this. It's gonna be New York time, so I think it's maybe a little earlier. But hey, either or, I'm on it. All right. What else to account for here? We got a couple more boxing fights. Let's skip this one and let's go directly to this. And we could call it. Do you want to talk about the Jean Pascal fight? Not really. Let's go to the Mbili. So we've been talking about Christian Mbili on this show for quite a while, and I know LT already confessed he's one of his exciting fighters. He doesn't see him as contender yet, but you definitely want to watch him fight.
I think he's contender status.
You think he is? Okay. We've seen him fight the Ukrainian. I forgot that name is long. I can't even front. I remember it, but I won't even bother. But I've seen him fight the Ukrainian fighter in Quebec, destroyed him. I've seen him fight the British fighter, destroyed him. And we always think with a guy like him, right? How he fights, his style. He's like one guy who's gonna die on his sword in the middleweight. Like he's either you kill me or I kill you. And we worry for him in that away group because there's some killers out there. They're killers. The Caleb Plants. There's who else is in that mix? We have some killers out there. So, anyways, long story short, Mbili did what Mbili did and knocked him out in the first round. Knocked out Suliki in the first round with a very slick uppercut, clean, nice setup. Well, I wish I could. I could share this, but as I share this, fellas, talk about Mbili and his performance with his display against.
Handle business against a former contender and 24 knockout. I mean, hey man, put that man on the big stage. Beautiful short uppercut right there.
Mm-hmm.
He was out before he hit the ground.
Short uppercut. He like I did maybe say something too early in the past podcast. I said I didn't believe in his technique. I thought he was a wild fighter that just goes and does a madness, gives you a good fight for viewers, for casuals who like that violence. We like to see a type of fighter like him. But again, he exposes himself quite a bit. But with this level of knockout, Kam, LT, break it down. There was technique in there. There was a technical aspect of it where it doesn't look rushed. It doesn't look like a dude blacked out and it's fighting, right? It looks like a setup.
Yeah. This is muscle memory here.
Top body uppercut.
I mean, Cam, you might be able to break down.
Yeah, he gave the little chicken. Yeah, but you said it right. That was all reflexes right there. Gave him the chicken wing. That's the little elbow that kind of creates some space, and threw the right uppercut right off of that. Selecki didn't even see it out before he hit the ground, and that is it. That is it. Ding. So light work for that young man. Body, chicken wing, uppercut to the head.
So would you propel this young man, Billy, to fight most skilled fighters in that group? We have the Chalo brother, one of the Chalo brothers. We have, of course, Mungia. We have Pachenko. Who else am I forgetting? We talked about Plant earlier. Like, in that mix of good fighters, do you think he is someone to be a factor?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime you've racked up 24 knockouts, you one punch KOing other top guys. Selecki, he was recently stopped by Pacheco. He fought Danny Jacobs in his heyday. That was actually a really great fight to watch. If anybody's watch a Danny Jacobs fight, but yeah, man, it's about time to see it. About time to see it. Canada has been looking for that opportunity to showcase one of their rising stars, and it's time to put them on that stage. You mentioned Mungia. I don't know if we need to bring him up anymore. I don't know. Fight. So, but there are fights to be made. Like you mentioned some of them. So, I mean, yeah, man. Why not? Why not? Yeah. It's time.
Officially gatekeeper status. But I mean, so you asked the question. If he wasn't a contender before, he's a contender now because he made it through Selecki. So
yeah, and all these fights have been like in Quebec City. But he had some in Montreal. I think he had some Montreal. Is that the same? Quebec, Montreal? I don't know. I know it's in Canada, but geography was never.
Talk about provinces now.
Yeah, provinces. All right, so that's our coverage for boxing. We'll talk about UFC. This will be a quick run through. Maybe actually, while we do this run through, did you guys watch UFC 317?
Yes.
317. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's remember this name here. Ilia Topuria. Spanish Georgian. Not Georgia, Atlanta. Georgia, the country. For those people listening. Is this man building brick by brick a legacy where he may be put in that situation of GOATs in his generation? Because what he has been doing these last 5 years or so since he joined the UFC has been a madness. His streak has been crazy. 17 wins, 0 losses. His knockout. If you look at his interview with the UFC, the MMA guy, I forgot his name. Now I'm forgetting the guy.
Not Cormier.
Not Cormier. He's the guy that wears glasses. He's okay. Never mind. During his interview, he predicted how he's going to finish. He's going to finish Charles Oliveira.
Is it Ariel?
Ariel Alawani, yes. That's what I'm thinking about. He broke it down, predicted it, and everything came to fruition like this dude was, a time traveler. And, bro, his level of boxing for a UFC fighter is so sophisticated that some of these UFC fighters cannot catch on to his hand combination and how he positions himself when he's throwing that if you are a grappler, you can't even shoot to come and take him down. I'm going to share this screen, and you could just look at the technique of Ilia Topuria and just see how elite he is compared to a very respectable Charles Oliveira, former world champion. and how he finished him was so violent, so brutal. The combinations, how he threw them and how he clipped them was, and the level of knockout, dude was. And if you go over and look, he's done that to Volkanovski. He's done that to like legit world champions. And he said in his interview that he knew Charles Oliveira has no option than to walk into those punches, because what? He needs that close contact so he could shoot. He walks into them.
That was man, beautiful boxing.
You know, he's done this. He's been doing this, and this is just from just a Twitter random search. I can just search him with another. Like, he's been doing this. He's done this these last 3-4 fights. He's been knocking out people that usually don't get knocked out. So, like, I mean,
he's definitely on a hot streak. He is on a hot streak right now.
He kind of his hot streak reminds me to that Conor McGregor run, when Conor McGregor beat Jose Aldo, and then he went on to that run of just knocking out people and calling out the round that he's gonna knock them out. It was just ridiculous how everything was just prophetic. It was like a prophet had gone out there and just said stuff, and it happened. So salute to Topuria. He did his thing, and he captured the vacant. So now he has two at UFC. He's holding 2 belt divisions. He's holding now the lightweight. He has the vacant lightweight belt. But the fight did not only end with that main card, but there was some good fights that happened with another finish. Here we have Alexander Pantoja, I believe. He's from Brazil. He beat one of my favorite fighters from the New Zealand, Kai Kara France. He was submitted. This was the flyweight bout, and he was submitted with a rare neck choke in the 3rd round. Going through that, let's talk about Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. And Beneil Dariush defeated Renato by unanimous decision. On to the next, we had Josh Van versus Brandon Roval, and Josh Van defeated defeated him through decision. And let me see here. We have Peyton Tolbolt versus Philippa Lama, and Peyton defeated Philippa Lama by unanimous decision. And that just covers our recap of what happened in UFC 13. But really, the spectacle was what Topuria did to Charles Oliveira. We've been talking about Charles Oliveira from way back, LT, when he became champion, and he beat Moreno back in the day, and he was champ, holding it down. And this guy went to another division, moved up to 55, and now he's beating up the Charles Oliveira. It's crazy. But anyways, let's talk about some boxing topics here.
For sure. Just a salute to the career of Oliveira. He fought his first amateur fight in 2007, so he's been at it for a long time. And to have approaching 50 MMA bouts is...
He's been fighting for a long time.
Yeah.
Brazilian grappler. Okay, so boxing topics. The news hit that Mr. Turki Al-Hashik has sent a hitman for David Haney. He sent a hitman in the names of Brian Norman. The ink has dried. Everything has been signed. It looks like in November, somebody will move away with the WBO welterweight title that is currently being held by Mr. David Haney. Fellas, This has so many layers. So many layers. More than you can know. More than I can even express. First, I paraphrase. We do not do Mickey Mouse. No, not Mickey Mouse. Sorry, Tom and Jerry boxing. We'll put the best fights out there. No running. Who was Taki Al Hashik citing or kind of subliminal messaging after that Friday thing that we had in New York a while back?
Well, that was on his card, so I feel like it's well within his right to make a comment about it. You know, the boxing fans were not pleased, and
No more Tom and Jerry.
I mean, this is one sport where the fans have a lot of power. If we're all talking about the same thing,
Right.
and Turkey heard it, he felt it. He's a boxer fan.
Right.
He just has the means to put on these extravagant events around the world. It was not enjoyable. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that. No one wants to watch that. We set aside time to stay up late on a Saturday. You're sitting in one spot. The couch gets real comfortable. If we falling asleep during your fight, it's not a good thing. You know. So Turkey was just putting it out there. Hey, come on with it. Put on a boxing exhibition. People talked about Floyd, but no one ever talked about Floyd running. He didn't run. So we can't witness that again, especially with the mouthpiece that Bill Haney is. He's talking cash, money, and it's like watching. It's pennies. It's pennies is the product. So,
but you know, taking it back, I think it's kind of revisionist of us. We have to really kind of take our minds back to when Floyd was fighting Pacquiao. To the casual, they would say that's Tom and Jerry fighting. Bear in mind, Mickey Mouse. I mean, that's why I keep on saying Mickey Mouse. Tom and Jerry fighting. Bear in mind, Pacquiao had a dislocated shoulder during the fight. Something happened. He had an injury that happened in that fight, but there was a lot of avoiding from both sides, and it looked weird. I'm like, Pacquiao doesn't fight like this. Floyd Mayweather kind of. I expect him to avoid getting hit, but that was a tough watch. Taking it back, Andre Bardo versus Floyd Mayweather. That was a tough watch. So I say that to say Floyd had some tough fights where you knew he is on his, what they call it, the fairway tour, the Kobe Fair. He was just doing his rounds of getting his purse, and he wants to leave unscathed. So if Floyd could do it, and we could, as boxing aficionados could say, well, Floyd is not running. That's his technique. He's a good defensive fighter. Why are we giving? I'm not putting Floyd and shit and what's his name and David Haney in the same category, but why is Turkey kind of like making fun of that when really it's about not getting hit?
No. That fight was. Come on now. Come on.
We're focusing on Haney, but let's move away from Haney. But just that statement of Tom and Jerry, we want people to clash?
Like, yeah, you do. You want to see skill. If let's say if he is in mid range, head movement, good defense, checking, parrying, that's much different than actively running around the ring, and you have videos that are sped up that show no punches being thrown.
Right.
There's a 30-second clip of the fight being sped up where not a punch was thrown. That come on now, we just can't.
No, I was just trying to pull that angle just to start a discussion. I won't lie to you. I'm on your side, man.
We can't have that, man.
Don't want that stuff.
We can't have that.
And blatantly, he's not no subliminal. He was talking about David Haney. He was That whole Mickey Mouse thing was about him. And now that Taki is in the driver's seat, he brought his sniper. Brian Norman, I'm not seeing him let dude move around. I'm seeing him cut in that ring. And one thing I also have to respect Devin Haney is that boy takes the fight. He took the Garcia fight when people were like, why are you doing that? Because he was the A side for real. Forget about that internet fame. Haney was the real champion. Garcia's never been a champion. No, he has never held a belt. I don't think he has. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he had a belt. And beating Haney took them belts, right? Haney, I respect him for that. He takes the fights. But man, Brian Norman is a different animal. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know how Bill Haney's gonna like weasel his way to kind of like what excuse is gonna happen after the aftermath of this. I just don't know. Salute to Bill Haney. I'm not trying to like make it.
Nah, he's got to go fight his dad. Like whatever the outcome. Right after the decision or the finale, the fight ends. The fathers of both fighters getting in the ring and fight. And fellas, I'm over here checking BoxRec now. There is I lost it. A Brian Norman who fought this year. Is that the dad, the assassin? Is that the dad of Brian Norman Jr.? He fought this year, so I think he seems to be ready to fight. I can pull it up for y'all. Brian Norman
was born in 2000, or he was born.
He's 24, right? His dad.
Yeah, his dad could be our age.
His dad, Brian Norman, the assassin.
46.
46. You found it?
Yep.
So I think he fought February 15th of this year.
And that's
why,
and that's why if you notice how I said, because Norman Jr.'s nickname is Assassin too. I said Turkey brought a hitman.
Hey,
it was all wordplay to come and do a job.
Clever.
He's doing a cleanup job.
Dang, Strap. Wait a minute. Maybe we should have talked about Jean Pascal.
Oh, okay.
Because he was on the.
He was, but I just didn't know if you guys wanted to.
No, bro. I'm just saying he's on seniors. Is this?
He was on the same card.
Yeah, no, he's on seniors BoxRec.
He's on senior.
Are you kidding me?
Cut the Jean Pascal body.
Wow. I see it. Wow.
This
is insane.
That's an alley oop right there. We could have even brought.
Oh man. Back in 2007.
Bill Haney's not in that type of shape to fight an active fighter.
No, I mean if we play the clip,
yeah, he was being.
If you're watching and you don't know about it, Brian Norman and Devin Haney, the seniors, are on some podcast, and it was talking real spicy. So we'll check that out.
Yeah. What if Devin Haney shuts the world down and defeats Brian Norman Jr.? Do we now have to redirect our energy to correct or fix our approach when we speak on Devin Haney's name? Because that's a body to catch right there.
I'm gonna say it like this: yes, because if we're I'm gonna have recency bias right now, and I'm seeing what Floyd Schofield just did to Tevin Farmer, and his styles make fights, and we are to say that Brian Norman is this Floyd Schofield in this situation, and Devin Haney stylistically is the Farmer. I don't think that's a stretch.
No.
So, based off of recency bias, it's looking like Norman is pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
And so if Haney were to come out, and I've been wrong here lately, if Haney were to come out and prove my eyes wrong and my conventional wisdom, which I know that things happen.
Yeah,
I think I think he has the skills, and like so we seen him take the punch from Ryan Garcia, but when I seen Brian Norman reach back from the past,
had the ancestors behind that left hook.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So
and
they like why you bringing up old stuff?
Yeah.
And we've seen Haney in trouble before. We've seen Haney in trouble quite a bit. He was in trouble. I think Joseph Diaz Jr. gave him the stanky leg one time, had him wobbly. He won the fight. I mean, because he gets touched. Haney gets touched quite a bit. He does get touched. He gets wobbled a lot. Like he's been knocked down by Joseph Diaz, right? Was that the fight before Kambosos? He was where we thought like dude didn't perform. He did redeem himself versus Kambosos, but was it Joseph Diaz or
Jojo? Yeah, I believe that. I think you're right.
Had him wobbling, and we thought he didn't have his legs for a while that whole fight, and he was doing good in the first few rounds. Last rounds, he was running away from the Mexican dude. Haney was running away from him because dude had him wobbling. Yeah, I like that type. If Haney. And that was the good Haney. Haney was very, very smart. He didn't get hit. Haney, one of the best jabbers in the game. And Haney also is a very big, he's a bigger guy for his weight category. For the lightweight, welterweight or welterweight, he is a big dude. He walks around, he's maybe 5'9". He's a bigger dude. He's not, because whenever he's weighing in, you could see how drained and his body is. So if I don't know, man, you guys are right. Brian Norman is a test for real. And if he passes that test, there'll be different levels of praise that I will give Devin Haney. And yeah, but that's an assassin, and Turkey knows exactly what he's doing. He wants to make, I think Turkey wants to make an example of people that he puts on a card that don't do good. He's like, okay, I got you. I got the money to bring you back in the ring, but I got an opponent for you. Let's bring that.
He got a personal bone to pick, so he put the dog on him.
Taki El Hashik is first of all, he is a public official with Riyadh Scene. He's in charge of entertainment and bringing fun to the city. And then his side project is Ring Magazine. I think he likes Ring Magazine more than he likes this whole thing on the side. And you mess his side, you mess his real passion project. Billionaires got egos. He's gonna show you. He'll pay you, but he's gonna show you. I'll pay you for this fight, but now fight this guy. Let's see if you could do that. You know, I like the salsa. You're not gonna dance around, dude. You gotta come and mean business, and we want to see a young David Haney back. So I don't know. I think Turkey knows what he's doing. Just to say the least. And onwards,
I would have to agree for sure.
And onwards, there's a video floating around the streets of Mr. Lamont Roach sitting down, wearing a tank top, relaxing. Somebody recording him. He talks, looking at the camera, knowing it's recording him, and he says, "I think I want," and I'm paraphrasing, "the winner of Norman Haney after I beat Tank." He didn't say he's looking through Tank. He is convinced he's going to beat Tank. By the way, where are those tickets? This is supposed to be August, right? The fight. Those tickets are not even up. But anyway, that's a topic for another. But he looked at the camera and said, "When I beat Tank." Apparently, and this is also X. These are not factual. This is just X boxing or Twitter streets. Apparently, Lamont Roach is a big dude that fights. He fights at where does he hold his belt? At 35. Let me make
35 sure. Is where he
35 is where he holds his belt. So apparently he tricked the world because everybody sees him fighting at 35.
I think he was a 30. Yeah, I think he got his belt at 30.
Actually 30. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. So he came from junior lightweight. He fights at he's heavy, way heavier than 130, but he fights at 130. So when he met Javante at 35, he went up. So everybody was like, "Oh, he's going up," and he's power translated in that 135. When really and truly, his streak is you're not seeing his chest play right there. He could go up because he's maybe walking around at 160, 170. And that's his natural thing. So he's really taking everything out to meet that 130 where he's the champion. So apparently, okay, what people are saying from the DC area, I mean the DMV area, is he's a big dude that is actually kind of weight bullying. And that's why he's not worried about Tank, because Tank is a small dude. And he's like, this dude cannot do nothing to me. And that's why he's looking at Devin Haney, who's also, quote unquote, considered a weight bully. Like, I could dance with dude. Because really and truly, we saw Tank throw punches on Roach, and Roach was eating them. And even Tank was so confused and trying to like use tricks of hair stuff in his eyes. He was getting beat, outpowered. Roach was turning him around, like moving him around like he's little. Although Tank did have some good rounds where he was catching with nice, combinations ending into, a number 3, but he had good sequences. But still, I did see whatever Twitter is saying. I kind of saw that. I'm like, oh, dude didn't look like he was phased from that stepping up that weight. So when people tell me that he's really big, way bigger than where he fights, that makes sense that he's overlooking Tank because he's looking at him as a smaller fighter. And whatever Tank does, and Tank knew it. That's why Tank did everything in that fight to get to let the officials either give him the win because he's the champ or the draw, whatever. He drew. I think he lost, but I think Lamont is not taking Tank serious, and which is weird. From watching that video, and saying I won the winner, there's something he knows that we don't know as the audience here that he has, and he's looking at Norman and Devin Haney as his physical peers. I don't know. That's a discussion agenda that I'm putting out there.
I'm not gonna say he's not taking him serious because he didn't officially win. It's a draw on the record. So in his heart of hearts, he won, but he still has a chip on his shoulder because of the draw as the official record. Now, there's a familiarity there. They are both from the DMV area. So what the rumor mill might be saying, it could possibly be true. I think the biggest thing here is he has a spotlight on him that at this point in his career and at this time in history that he has to take advantage of that spotlight. Because after he fights Tank, that light could go away.
Mm-hmm.
Right now he hot, and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and he has to strike while the iron is hot. So I understand what he's doing here. His stock has never been higher.
Yep.
Big facts. And on the rewatch of the Tank and Roach matchup, there was a lot of times where he's countering Tank's counter, which is high level elite IQ, and show the fearlessness that we've not seen against a Tank opponent. So going in with the bigger chip on his shoulder, we talked about before that fight how Tank seemed to have one foot out the door. He hasn't mentioned those type of comments since then, but he also hasn't really given us anything as far as where his state of mind at this point. But it does not seem to be concerned with necessarily capturing the belts. It's where's the payday, and let's talk some mess on Twitter.
All right.
Right. His focus has never been unification. Like,
yeah. What do you mean? Unify what?
It's the school of Mayweather.
That's stupid. What do you mean unify?
I got one belt, and people come to my fights. And
big chillin'.
Yeah. it's just a level of comfort and calm that he has that is scary. Like it's kind of like saying, I know this guy. He's in my backyard. I know him. Relax, everybody. I know this guy. Like I fought him in the amateurs. I know this guy. Like I really know this guy. Like you guys are surprised that is happening. Like when somebody has your number, man, it's scary. I can only imagine, when when Tyson was fighting Holyfield, that 2 times it just was not working. Like, dude just figured you out. He's been watching. He's been in your shadows, watching you the whole time. You fought him in the amateurs. You went to prison. He was just Holyfield. You just see that documentary of Holyfield, following Tyson everywhere. He knew what Tyson's habits were. Like it's crazy how familiar Holyfield was, that there's nothing Tyson could do that Holyfield wasn't ready for. And I hope this is not Lamont Roach's Tank's Tank is Tyson and Lamont Roach's Holyfield. But what if he's figured Tank so much that another fighter like Shakur comes and just dismantles? Because that's a different kettle of fish. But anyway, that was a very interesting take and an interesting site of confidence leading prior to this fight that is going to happen in next month, that I don't see too much promotion about. We should be seeing presses and stuff about this, but anyways,
doesn't seem like it's happening.
Maybe it's a mental health thing, something. Hey, when fights get close, man, the jitters come. You never know. Mental health break, maybe. I don't know. It was announced July 12th. Ring Magazine 3 is happening in New York, and Shakur Stevenson will be fighting William Zepeda. We've been waiting for this one. I know, at least us. We've been waiting for this one. We've been waiting for a notable opponent for Shakur. Is Zepeda the person to unlock Shakur's greatness?
Well, we already know he's great. I think he's an Olympian, multiple time world champion. We're just I think we have a high expectation of seeing that next level, and just to see it against other top level competition. That's all I think we're really asking for from Shakur. We don't have the running allegations or the snack. Wait, do we have the snack partnership here?
He's not a sponsored fighter.
Okay. So,
wait.
We need to double check that. He's around the way, but that's all. We're ready for those opportunities to see the big fights. We want to see Shakur in these big fights, and this is just the first big opportunity, which we thought we had against Floyd Schofield, against an up and coming guy, but a tested veteran champion in his own right. William Zepeda going to come forward. Make note of this fight, though. You have two southpaws facing each other. It's always a little different matchup-wise when two southpaws face each other, because southpaws are coming up in the gyms are used to going against other orthodox fighters. So it's a interesting tidbit. And Zepeda just did 24 rounds with a southpaw with Tevin Farmer.
Yeah.
So just something to think about as you're watching this fight.
Yep. But yeah, like I do agree on that. And it's going to be one of those fights that I feel like we may see a different level of Shakur Stevens. We've seen the defensive fighter. I just want to see him just grab the fight by the scruff of the neck and control it in a way that is undeniable. Like what you did to dude in the UK, let's do it to a notable fighter, and let's keep on building onto that resume. But LT, you got something to say about this fight coming up?
No, well, I was going to say that Shakur got his belt from Edwin De Los Santos in 2023. It was for a vacant lightweight title, and so it looks like the fight against Davis would have been a comeback fight for De Los Santos after a layoff. So But anyway, I just thought that was an interesting tidbit right there.
Yeah.
No, I mean we need to make sure Shakur's hands are healthy. So I do think that having a good dance partner will bring out more in Shakur though. So
yeah. So if it happens and Zepeda does what Zepeda does too and surprises the world, it's that division is just interesting. You there's so many good fighters that even if you surprise the world, we're like, wait, well, you gotta fight now this guy. Like it's never like you've reached the zenith, like you've beaten the guy who is the guy. Like everyone is the guy in that division. So there's so many people I can see, like, you know, that could fight after that. That it's not even we're not even looking at just Shakur. Like, I'm looking right now. Shakur. We have of course Lomachenko left, but we have Moratala, we have Gervonta Davis. We have people that could come up like the Navarrete, Manuel Navarrete, maybe. But yeah, it's just interesting. There's so much. It's stacked with talent that, you know, even if Shakur lost this one, there's so much other fighters that you could make fights with that are of that elite level. So, all right, fellas, I know we have passed our normal time limit. We could have covered some of the fights that are happening this weekend. We could flash them by the screen as we summarize our episode. We have some fights. I'm assuming this is overseas. I'm seeing Chris Eubanks' brother,
Manchester
Eubank. So
it's this will be a Saturday afternoon for us. You gonna check it out?
I think William Crolla, I think that's up and rising contender right there, or prospect, I should say. Still early. I think that's a hot prospect that they're building up, so we might pay attention to that fight.
Yeah, we saw, like a few weeks ago, we talked about a Jack Catterall fight.
Mm-hmm.
Covered one of those recaps. I've not seen any Joe Cordina fights, but I do know who William Rolla is. Fraser Wilkinson, Pat Brown versus Louis Oakford. Yeah, but with that being said, ladies, gentlemen, as you can see, we've hit our hour 47 minutes of this show. Thank you, everybody that's been in the chat engaging with us. Interesting names in there that we cannot repeat on live air, but we can show you on the screen some of the chat. I mean, we've been popping some of their comments in the chat. Yes, this is a live but recorded session. You could play back. Follow us on Instagram. Who's Fighting? LT Kam Gee. It's been another great episode 61 of Who's Fighting. I want to say it again. LT Kam Gee. Who's Fighting?
Who fighting?